How is it about? Okay, yeah. Good morning, everyone. Jump over. So basically today I'm going to talk about simplified Git flow. It's not exactly the full Git flow that I'm going to talk about. Everyone uses Git here, right? Everyone knows Git to a level. In my opinion, I think Git is one of the tools that we use since a long time, but we don't leverage all of its features. If not all, like some of its very nice features that we have. So we have always been using Git in just one kind of a way, and we are getting used to that way, and that way probably is not the right or the most beneficial way of using Git. So with this context, if you don't know me, I'm Gitlab. I am one of the co-founders of YIPL. So basically, I'm going to talk about a different way of using Git, where we would use tags, we would use other forms of branching and merging, so that the code can be divided into production lines as of branches, and then it can again go back to the main branch, which is generally master. So these are the requisites that we have. We'll follow it step by step. So this will also go in line hand to hand with the project flow that we have, with the ticket flow that we have on Trello. So as far as I can, I would like to relate them and go side by side. There are some prerequisites for this demo-ish kind of presentation, whatever you want to call it. And if you haven't watched that video by now, you can watch it later. The Git Happens video, I forgot the lady's name. That's a very good video that you should really watch so that you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, for now, I'm going to talk about the simplified Git flow, whereby we only have one perpetual branch and not three. The general full Git flow has three perpetual branches: master, develop, and release. But we are going to look at the simplified one, which just has one branch, that's master. So basically, whenever you start a new feature, let's say that we have a prioritized list of things to do on Trello, that's on the to-do or backlog column you have. So as soon as you want to start with a bug or a new feature or anything, what you do is you move it to doing, and then you create a branch out of master. So always follow a particular way of doing things so that it's structured, it's consistent all over. Let's say if I'm doing something for open data and the project code is OP, and I'm working on card number 21 on Trello. On Trello, you would also see the card number. So the first thing you do is move the ticket from to do to doing, and then go to your master, get the latest master, then do git checkout -b, git checkout -b, and your proper branch name with the proper project code. So it will be OP-21. Okay, so you would do something like git checkout master, git fetch, and git pull rebase origin master. That means give me the latest master. So as I said, there is one perpetual branch on simplified Git flow, and that's master. So you'd say give me the latest master, and then you get the branch out of master. For that you do git checkout -b and a branch name following proper conventions. For now, I'm giving you an example of open data ticket number 21, so that's just an example. So after you do that, then you start coding for that ticket. And let's say it is a ticket to add a block content. This is another example. So then you start coding, your feature gets completed, and then you want to push the code. So as you are already on OP21, now what you do is you push your code to OP21. What I would recommend here would be always push. If you are doing a work in progress, you can have multiple commits. But if you want to open a pull request, always have one commit. Maximum two if it makes sense, if it's logical. Let's say you finish the feature in one commit and then you have tests in the other, it makes sense to have two, but don't go more than 2 or 3. Whenever you open a pull request, make sure that you have the best would be only one commit. Then you do your, now after you have finished your changes, you do git add everything. If you have deleted files, git add -u, and then you would commit. Always have like meaningful commit messages. So what I generally do is I put the ticket title as is, so op-21 space add blog post. Then I go to the next line and then I do asterisk that comes out as a bullet on GitHub as well. Sorry, on GitLab I think. So that's how I do my commit messages, which makes sense. So even if someone else reads the commit message, he's able to understand what I'm doing. That's why I do point by point commit messages. That's why I use git commit and not git commit -m. So git commit will give you another screen. I use Vim, I don't know what you guys use, and that's where I type my commit message. As I said, keep them meaningful and concise. Yeah, and then you can do, as I already said, you can do logical multiple commits, but whenever you want to open a pull request or a merge request, always make it one commit, squashing the commits. So after that, I do a git push op-21. That's my example for this. And then I go and open a merge request because I pushed my code. As I said, it's always good to squash your commits to one before you open a merge request. Exactly. Whenever you want to open your merge request, make sure that your merge request is against the latest master. So you again go back and get all the commits from master because maybe someone has pushed to master. Let's say if you are working on something for 3 days and there has been a live deployment or someone else has committed 1 or 2 commits on master, then your local master is not aligned with the origin master. So what you need to do is you need to get the latest master aligned with your local master aligned to your origin master, and then do the merge request. So on the merge request, if you see multiple commits, the problem at many cases would be that your local master hasn't been aligned. And yeah, you do exactly. This is how you do a rebase, but given that you have the latest master locally. So then you can do a force push. After you do a rebase with master, generally you'll need to do a force push. Then you can go to GitLab and open a merge request. I think that's easy. There is a tool called Gitomate that I wrote that can do this automatically for you. If you wanna know about it more, I can talk later. Yeah, and then again, you will have to move your ticket from doing to code review or whatever your proper column naming is, so that the team lead can go up and check your particular merge request. Then what happens? Then the team lead is supposed to review the code. So till now what happened is, there was something in doing, you moved it to, something in to do, you moved it to doing, you did your code part, you moved it to code review, and there you pasted the merge request link on that particular Trello card. Now it's the responsibility of the team lead to review your code. So here you could, it would generally go 2 ways. One, it's accepted, there are no problems with coding standards or naming conventions or anything. 2, the lead or anyone who is reviewing the code will have some comments on your code. That's a very good way to learn new stuff. That's a very good way to improve on your coding skills as well. So we do this to surely to have a maintainable code and follow all of our standards correctly. And then again, you'll have to work a bit on the comments, because if the lead has, or anyone who reviewed has comments, you are supposed to fix them and then only merge the particular ticket to master. So if the reviewer has some comments, you're supposed to fix it. And then after that, if all the review is okay, then it's your branch that should be deployed to staging. So what happens is, let's say it is op-21 and my code review went fine. I even did the things that were commented out, and then I would deploy that particular branch to staging. So we would have a staging environment, and there is where all my changes would be deployed, and then I go to the staging environment and test everything. If everything is fine, then I would create a tag out of it. Either I or the team lead would create a tag out of it. So a new tag will be created out of my branch. Right now I am on op-21, the latest op-21, which has been rebased with master. So I do a git tag, whatever. This is another convention that we can follow. At least this convention means first year of operation, 11 is November, 2 is the 2nd of November. So this would depend on how you want to name it. We generally name it like this. and then I push the tag. And then it is deployed live. How are we deploying right now live here is just go to the server SSH and then do a git pull or git check out that tag. But gradually this will change. We'll have Capuchin or something to do tag deployments. We're already in works of doing it. How to name your tags? So basically, this is the format that I follow. And I think we are following it for some projects, right? I think we're already following something like this for the project. So let's say if you have multiple deployments on the same day, this example is of 2nd of November. So if you have a second deployment, it will be -P0. If you have third deployment, it will be -P1, and that can increment. P basically means a batch. So yeah, it's like however you want to name your tags. You can even use week numbers or however whatever feels easier. So let's say everything has been deployed to live, you have tested it, and everything is fine. Then the tag needs to be merged to master. That basically means all the things that you did on that branch has to come to master so that others can also use it if someone's dependent, or basically it has to come back to master. The other thing you need to always know is master is always deployable. That's always a stable branch. So let's say if you have a problem with that ticket, you can always revert back to master or the older tag that was deployed. So after testing and wondering if everything is fine, this is how you merge a tag. Git merge --s node as ff and the tag name, and that will merge the tag to master, and master will be updated with the commits that you did for that branch. Then you can again push master, and anyone who has an open merge request has to rebase from master because master has changed. So that's how this is done. All the things that I said. So things to consider basically is never force push to master, never ever do that. Always do a push to master, because master, as I said, is the stable branch, is the only perpetual branch. So even if by mistake, if you force push to it, it might mess up everyone's code. So always be very careful that you never force push to master. Always only push to master. Yeah, you can always force push to your branch, because as soon as you rebase from master, you will at most of the times need to do a forced push. And always have tickets related to the branch and branch out from the latest master. Exactly, this is clear. Always align your branch from the source branch that's master. So let's say if you have been working for a ticket for a card for 2 days and master has moved above, you will need to rebase master and then only open a merge request. And again, whenever you open a merge request, maximum 2 commits, the best only 1 commit. I haven't covered hot fixes on this, I think that's still fine. So I think YIPL is comparatively easier than it sounds. Also because this is the simplified YIPL and not the full YIPL, because as I said, in full YIPL you have 3 perpetual branches, and here I'm just talking about 1 perpetual branch and then is master. Exactly, it encourages code reviews, which will eventually improve the way you write your code. And it's a standard procedure followed by a lot of big companies. The rollbacks are also very easy because we have tags. So let's say if I deployed something and it's broken, I can just deploy my old tag. Deploy, pull, whatever. I mean, it's a lot easier because I know the last valid tag that I deployed, which is working fine without problems. And that's about it. If you have questions, you can go ahead. If you are even confused what is tag, you can ask me that. Any questions? I'm open to it. Questions?
Suppose we do a squash and then open a merge request,
Okay.
and the team lead comments it out. So
Okay.
we'll need to make a new comment. So we squash it again.
No. The best thing would be to, if you have already squashed it, always amend the comment. I mean, that's easier. But if it's before opening a merge request and you have 5 comments, it still makes sense because no one's going to review it. I mean, the number of files changed will be like similar. It's very good to make logical comments when it's work in progress, but whenever you have to open a merge request, maximum 2. That should be the rule you follow. And it would also apply to the size of the ticket. So generally, it would be very good to have smaller size tickets let's say even if I have a full feature of having one form and then it's saved to the database and everything, we could split it into like 2 or 3 smaller tickets so that it can go step by step into master. That would depend upon how you can deploy it. And one more thing I can add is like, let's say if you have 2 or 3 dependent tickets, what you can do is you can just create a branch like the date, like today's date, 150 March 3 or 0203 and something, and put 2 or 3 tickets, cherry pick 2 or 3 tickets on them, right? Then it acts like an intermediate release branch, and then you can deploy that branch with a tag and then merge that tag, so that all 2 or 3 tickets will come to master again. One more thing, when you deploy that branch to master and then everything is fine, and when you merge the tag and push master, I think it automatically closes the merge request on GitLab. So you don't even need to go and close the merge request. That's one of the things I noticed. That happens to GitHub, but I think it also happens to GitLab.
One question.
Go ahead.
So if let's say we're maintaining multiple versions of the same software,
Mm-hmm.
so version 1, but we need to like work on the earlier version as well as the newer version. So
Mm-hmm.
this will be useful for such cases.
Yeah, it can surely be used for such cases. What you can do is, instead of having master, you will have 2 different branches, version 1 and V1 and V2, let's say. And then all the pull requests and merge requests will come to the respective versions. So you will not have master, you will have V1 stable and V2 stable branches. So if I'm working on something that's related to V2, I will branch out from V2 and send a merge request to V2. Same thing for V1. I think it can easily be done like that. So the source branch here would be either V1 or V2, and your perpetual branches will also be the same. Then you can just follow this method.
And one more thing, like when we do a git push, when we merge the tag, so why are we using the no fast forward no dash ff?
Wait, actually I forgot it, but here it's there in the link. You can just read it. I don't have it on the back of my
From my
mind.
understanding, the dash no dash ff will, even if it's a fast forward merge, it will create a new merge command.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, is there any particular?
As far as I remember, like every merge tag will create a new comment, and it's easier to revert it if you later want to revert it. That's one of the reasons I think we do fast forward. Exactly what is there in this link that I don't have it on top of my mind right now. But there is a link, so you can just have a read there. Any more questions?
How does git pull rebase work? Is there any difference between git pull and git pull rebase?
Nice. So git pull basically does like pull whatever there is and then merge it with whatever I have, whatever changes I have. Git pull rebase means pull whatever that is and put my changes on top of it. So it's like rebasing means I start from there and then my changes are on top of it. Go ahead.
It's a git rebase, git pull rebase.
Git rebase and git pull rebase.
Git pull rebase.
Git pull rebase.
Git rebase.
Git pull rebase. Git rebase master. Exactly. Sorry. Yeah. That's what I mean. Rebase is you put your changes on top of whatever that is. Git pull rebase I think is the same as well, because you are pulling it and then putting your changes on top of it. It depends. If you do a git pull rebase, you are telling get me from origin and then put my changes on top of it. If you do git rebase master, you are saying get my local master and then put my changes on top of it. How I do it, I always make my local master align with the origin master, and then do everything locally, rather than trying to get everything from the origin. That's my way of doing things, but you can follow your own way as long as your branches align with the latest master. I mean, that's the basic requirement. Any more questions? Go ahead. I mean, I have left a lot of things open here. Same thing with tag naming and everything. Same thing with project code and everything. I mean, that just depends upon the team that's working on a project. I might call open data OP, someone might call it OD, whatever. But make sure that it's like maximum 3 characters, so it's easier to like type in and create the branches, so that someone doesn't type A and someone doesn't type B and things like that. Just make it consistent so that it's very easy to see. And I think we can even apply the same thing when we talk about the things that we're doing on the Scrum. So as far as the Scrum, I was in this morning, the description that people did yesterday or I'm going to do today was very vague. I mean, I didn't find anyone specifically saying I did a form or I did a validation for this form of this ticket. Let's say I have something like OP25, which is a ticket for, I don't know, a blog form, and then I'm doing this for this ticket. So if you can relate all this, and then, so Gitflow will go very hand to hand, like parallelly with the ticket flow as well. You will create a new branch only when you move it to doing, okay? And you would paste the merge request link on the comment of the Trello card and then move it to code review. That makes it a lot easier for the guy who is reviewing the code. Because for me, either then I'll have to go to the merge request list and check, okay, this is here, this is there. I mean, it's difficult as someone who is reviewing the code to like trying to think those things. If you have a link, I just go to that ticket, click the link, like review your code, type whatever I want to there, I mean, as far as it makes sense. And then that comes to you as an email, or you can go back and check your merge request, and then you can edit it. Same thing. And then after it's done, if everything is fine, I as a reviewer can move it to like done or something. Or if I have already deployed to staging, I can move it to like staging and tell you to test it. So I think that will, if we take these two parallelly, it will be a lot easier. Any more questions? Go ahead.
So let's say like there are like multiple merge requests that is coming in. So the person who's doing the merging, so he will do one merge request, and so if he does another merge request, what if there is a chance of conflict?
Conflicts might be there. If those two things that you are trying to merge have the same files being involved and similar line numbers, you'll have conflicts. But again, the thing comes back to like how big is your merge request. Never make your merge request like 100 files and 2,000 lines of change. That's a very, very bad way to do it. And then you will surely have conflicts of like 10 files because you already have 50 files in your commit, and then 2,000 lines have changed, and I don't know, like 10 files and 100 lines have conflicts, and you spend I don't know, about an hour to solve that conflict. Rather than that, have a merge request which is, I don't know, maximum 20 or 30 files, 400-500 lines change. That's like a very big merge request in itself. So if you have smaller merge requests, you will surely have very less chance of getting conflicts. So let's say if you are working on a ticket and you think it's going to be a big merge request, talk to your immediate lead, either the lead or anyone above, so that you guys can sit together and decide to break that particular ticket into smaller parts, so that you can think of how much code would it result to, and then less code, less complete code is better than like having a big chunk, which is again a problem to like merge back to master. So if you are already trying to start something and you think this is going to be like a very big merge request of 50 files and 2,000 lines of change, don't even start it. Go to your immediate lead and say, we need to break this. I mean, this looks like a huge ticket, so we need to break it into smaller chunks and do it accordingly. I think I already covered that part where you can have like a branch which is named for the date, and you can cherry pick. I'm not using this word. This is a command on Git that you can cherry pick. Like cherry picking means pick this commit, pick this commit. So you can like just get that hash of the commit and cherry pick it on the branch you want. If you guys want, I can show you. So this is a project that I'm doing for YIPL, which basically does this stuff. So what you can do is you can just put #mr in your commit, and it will automatically open a merge request for you. This works right now. The code climate part works right now. Only the first two things work right now, and these are like the things I would like to have. So let's say if you're doing a commit and we push #trc, it will copy your commit message as a Trello comment. This is quite easy to do because everything has its own APIs. Let's say if you do a #trd, it will automatically move your card from doing to do. I mean, it's automating stuff, which is easier rather than you doing pushing and then moving stuff. These things will be very easy to do. But these two things number 3 and number 4 haven't been done. I have already done number 1 and number 2. But the thing here is, like, let's say if I'm working on a new branch, I would just do, so this is, yeah, if you are using Git, I would really suggest you to use shortcut aliases. So CK for me means Git checkout, and it's very easy to do. So Git checkout minus B, what is this? Git omit. So if the project code is GI, and I'm working on, let's say, number 40, this is all imaginary, then I would do it. And let's say the only change I actually need to do is, I don't know, add like this. So this is the only thing that was there. I mean, let's say it was a typo ticket, and I can do no. So always before you push, always do a git diff. Okay, this will show you like what are you trying to push. So I think right now what we're doing is we are opening a merge request and closing it ourselves. That's also fine because we don't have like a proper code review format right now. But the thing is, you read your code yourself before you merge. At least that will give you an idea of, okay, I'm writing this. This is what's been done for this particular part, or for this particular ticket. Git diff, you can do this. And if you have already done a git add, you can also do git diff -- cached. This will show you the diff of the added files. Okay, so if you do a git diff, it's all the differences that you have made without the files being added to the stash store, whatever it's called on Git. And then if you have already done git add your files, you can do git diff -- cache. So I have done my stuff. Sorry, it's GI 40, let's say, fix typo. So what I generally do is I do this, fix typo,
There's a typo in the title.
readme page. Typo in a typo, nice, thank you. I'm very good with typos. Fix typo for readme, and maybe blah blah, I don't know. So generally I do this. In GitHub, what you can do is you can even do something like this. You can have a checkbox, but I'm not sure if it's supported in GitLab. For GitLab, it's fine. I just do this. Okay. And then I do git push origin GI 40. So I'm done with my ticket. So by this time, I should have my card in doing. Okay. Then I go to GitLab and then open my pull request, copy that pull request link to the ticket and move it to code review column. What else here? I think that's it. I mean, basically for the developer, this is almost the last step, because then it's the one who is reviewing that. It's like the responsibility is transferred to the guy who is reviewing it, to the person who is reviewing it. Any questions, confusions, or if you think
Do we git tag every feature? No. Only when we deploy.
with this simplified git flow, yes.
Yes.
With the full git flow, you tag the bunch of features that you want to release from the release branch. With simplified git flow, you have a tag for each ticket you do, because each ticket goes live one at a time. That's why I'm stressing more on having automated deployments. Yeah, in that sense, we are trying to get Capistrano work for Laravel. I think we are close to it. We will be doing Capistrano even for Drupal projects. That's also in the work.
Just one question. So,
Go ahead.
like you said, like every feature or every branch that gets deployed, like, but what if I want to like only deploy once I've completed, let's say, 5 set of features?
Yeah, that's what I talked about. Let's say if you have like, if you already have 5 merge requests and you want to deploy them together, you just create a branch like 1.3.11, cherry pick those 5 commits in the correct sequence, because sequence matters when you cherry pick, correct sequence, okay, so that you don't have conflicts with stuff. If you have conflicts, you resolve it on that branch itself. So then you deploy 1.3.11 on staging, check everything is fine. If everything is fine, you make a tag out of 1.3.11 and then you deploy that tag. Then you merge that tag back. But when you push master, all the 5 merge requests will not close. You'll have to close them manually. You can do that. So this is like the regular Git flow where you have three branches, 3 perpetual branches.
So like just one.
Go ahead, yeah.
Question. So our live site or live production, so it should always be on the tag,
Yes.
right? So it should not be on the branch.
For sure, 100% always on tag. Why? Because tag is like a pointer to a commit. You cannot add more stuff to a tag. Branch is not a pointer. Branch is a running thing. So you can add more commits, change stuff on that branch. That's why it's not a static thing. It's changing. Okay, but tag is like this commit. It's like having a pointer there. And whenever you say it's on a tag, it's a lot safer than having it in a branch because no one can push more on that tag because the tag is a tag. That's why it's a lot safer. And let's say if you want to revert back, you know your tag, you know your naming convention. So let's say if I today deployed 1.3.11 and I had a problem on live. I check on live, okay, problem, this broke. So what I do is I know the previous tag deployed, and let's say if it's 1.3.9, I just say git checkout 1.3.9, or I deploy 1.3.9 with my automated deployment tool, and I'm all good because the new changes are not there on live and nothing's going to break again. Until I don't fix this problem, I can still revert back safely to the old tag. Any more questions? Or if you want to ask how I cherry pick or anything. Go ahead. Yeah.
Suppose we have merged a branch and we need to work again on that branch. So do we make another branch or work on the same and make a new merge?
You can work on the same branch, but make sure that you don't squash your commits and you don't amend your commits there. Because let's say if a branch is merged to master, whatever has been merged, don't change whatever has been merged. Okay? Do a new commit on top of it, because if you rebase from master as it's already been rebased, it will be fine. If you want to make new commits, it's fine. You can make new commits on that branch and then send a pull request. Send a merge request. But on the merge request, just make sure that you see only the changes that you made now after being merged, not everything. If it's everything, there is a problem. So if that's fine, that you want to do a second merge request from the same branch after the first merge request has been merged, that's totally fine. But the conditions are, don't do a commit amend, don't do a commit squash, because they have already been merged to master. You can squash amend as long as you want until it's not merged to master. If it's merged to master, then you do a new commit on the same branch. And then if you open a pull request, it will just show that commit, because the comparison in the difference is only that commit that you did now after the old commit has been merged to master. So you can use this strategy.
Can you show, because I think many of us are a bit confused regarding this question.
Okay.
Quick example.
Okay, no problems. So I have already done one commit. If you just remember, I just added 2 lines. 2 dots. Let me add a typo to the typo. So can be the whatever. Git commit. Git add. So if you guys haven't used Git, this is like a good tool. I think I don't know about Macs, but it's surely there for both Windows and Ubuntu. As no one uses Windows here, I'm so happy. So basically, this will show you your current branch. How is it? How far? Or how many commits do you have from master? So what this is saying is my master and my origin master are the same. They are on the same level here. And on GI40, I have 2 commits. This is the branch name. This is the comment I gave, right? So now what I want to do is I want to squash these 2 commits, because they don't make logically, they are logically not different, so I can squash them. Or I want to open a merge request, so I have to squash them. And if you are in a work in progress, you can do stuff like this. You can have 5 commits there. So now I have 2 commits that I need to squash. That's pretty easy. git rebase minus I add more tilde sign and number of commits you want to squash. Very easy. Then it will give me this, and it says what does this mean. S means squash, E means edit, F means fix up. Rebase is a very, very powerful tool, but with that power comes a lot of responsibility. So whenever you do a rebase, just be sure that you are not messing up stuff. And as I already said, never force push to master, never try doing a rebase on master. Because whatever happens, even if you like already mess up your branch pretty bad, it's still fine. You can again do that ticket and it's not going to affect anyone. Never mess up master, because if you do that and 4 team members of your team pull master, everyone's code base is messed up. So be all very careful with master. Going back to the rebase, to the squash, I'm just squashing this. So I'm saying squash these commits to 1. If I had 4, I would put S to the other 2 below. So I'm squashing it, and then it will tell me to squash the commit messages as well, comments as well. So do I need it? I think I need it. Then I'll just do, okay. This is how I do it, right? If it makes sense, I just put it there. And then that's it. Now if I go git k, I just have one commit above master, because I have merged, squashed those 2 commits that I made into 1. That's how you squash a commit. It is very easy because I just added 2 dots or something like that. But if you have multiple files, you might, I don't think you would run into conflicts, but just be careful on what you are doing. Because as I said, rebase comes with responsibility.
So when we rebase with master, that commits may come in between our local commits.
I didn't get you. I didn't get the point.
Let's say commit rebase master गर्ने बेलामा के हामीले गरेको लोकल कमिटहरुले एक्सप्रेस गर्नु पहिले बीचमा आइदियो भने के गर्ने?
बिचमा आउँदै आउँदैन, rebase भनेको बिचमा आउनै भएन. The thing is, rebase means that you start from there and your commits are coming on top. That's a rebase. If you do a merge, if you do a pull merge, then you can have conflicts commits coming in between. Rebase is your commits are always on top of where you rebase from. It's not a merge. If you just merge a branch, then you can have OP40 commit and OP21 commit. That's a merge. And then again OP40. But if you rebase OP21 on OP40, it's OP40 commits and then only OP21. That's a rebase. That's why we do a rebase. So because my master is aligned to the remote master, as I can see, and this is the only change, this is the only new commit I have. How many of you are using Git K as in now? 2, 3, 4. So yeah, a new thing to explore. I mean, generally before I commit, I always give it a check. I can even do this. Git log -2. This will show me the last 2 commits and stuff. But I'm more comfortable with seeing it more visually than just in letters. I mean, I can see the tree here, and this makes more sense to me. But yeah, but on the server you don't have git k, so you can live with git log. -2 means give me the last 2 commit messages. I can do -10 or just do git log and see more. I don't know if I have a pretty log. No? Yeah, okay. I have something here. I don't know what it does. Anyways, I can even see pretty logs and stuff like that, and you even see the tree in the log itself. But I don't really remember the commands right now. And you can Google it if you want.
One question
Go ahead.
about squashing. Right? You pick, while squashing, you pick the first line of commit, like which, the commit which is sourced in the sequence. Why is that? Like, can't you pick something that's in between or at the last?
So the thing is, squash is that I have 1, 2, 3, 4. All these 3 goes to the first one. That's how it works. I haven't done trying it in between. I don't know what it does. But I always, even if I have, let's say 7 commits, I would do SSSS for the 6th, and first one will be the main one. These 6 will be squashed and put into the first one. That's the concept of squashing. I haven't tried doing a P and S in between. I don't know what does that do. I can try it and tell you, but probably it will mess up my tree. So the thing is, like, Git commits are like telling a story. So you tell the story of the project. It's upon you or upon the team to decide how you want to tell the story. And it's always good to tell it in a very clean and concise manner by squashing and this stuff, because then I know, okay, for this ticket there was just one commit and this is the commit and this is what the guy did. This is what the person did for that ticket. It's easier to do. So let's say if I have a small ticket, there are 5 files changed and there are 4 commits, then it's a headache to think what's happening. 1, 2, if I want to revert it back, I have to revert 4 commits, which is another big headache. So I am stressing on having just one commit also because let's say if I go live and I want to revert that, I can do git revert and that commit hash. By commit hash, I mean this. So this is like always unique for each commit. This is called commit hash. Even if you pick like 4 or 5 characters, you can do this. If you guys want, I can show you how you cherry pick. So let's say I want to cherry pick this commit to another branch. Okay, let's see that as well. It's good. So as Prashant also had the question that what happens if I want to do 2 or 3 merge requests in one go in one branch. Okay, so I go to master. This is git pull rebase origin master. I am lazy, so I just have GPROM, which is git pull rebase origin master, and I don't want to type all that, so I have a alias for it. And as you guys saw, I also have alias for git checkout. It's a CK. So you can have a lot of those things, and if you use ZSH, I think gdiff, right? Gdiff is the difference or something. If you just check ZSH, and you can have all the aliases for Git. I am not very used to the ZSH aliases. I have my own. So coming back to the thing, what happens here? I want to do multiple commits, multiple tickets on the same branch. I just do ck 1.3.11. This is a branch. ck is git checkout, so don't be confused. As I already said, it's an alias. So now I am 1.3.11, and I want to do a cherry pick of the other branch, which I don't remember. ckgi, I mean the commit. Okay, gitlab -1. So I need this commit. I'm just going to copy this. Okay, and ck 1.3.11. So now if you see 1.3.11 and master and the origin master all are aligned at the same place. It's on the same tag, login trace blah 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 tag. Okay. So what I can do is I can do git cherry pick and this. So what I'm saying is on this branch, cherry pick that commit, I don't know where it is, which branch, I don't really care, and put it on top of my branch. So if I do this, it says these are the files that changed. 1 file with 3 additions and 3 deletions. Okay, and now if I do git k, my 1.3.1 has the commit that I just made. Okay, so here. So I can do another cherry pick from another branch, and then you can have multiple commits. I'm not doing it right now, but this is the way that
Can
we
you
do
do
it.
like cherry pick 2 commits?
Yeah, you can do 5 cherry picks.
Same line?
5 cherry picks, but the thing is the sequence. So if I have 3 things, you need to do whatever came first cherry pick that part, so that you come to lesser conflicts. If you flip the sequence, you might run into more problems. And the end code will be the same, but the sequence matters because you are putting one thing at a time. That's why you need to put it at the right sequence. That's how you cherry pick, and this is the branch name. So let's say if I had Capistrano, I could say cap deploy minus s user equals to this, minus s branch equals to 1.3.11. I would even say don't name it like this because this looks like a tag now. You can say B or V or something like that. I mean, this looks confusing because this looks like a tag already, so problem. So just make it a B 1.3.11 so we know this is a branch. Okay, I can show you that as well. So I have a branch, I want to rename it. Git branch minus M. How many of you know this? Some of you know this, good. Minus M to B 1.3.11. Rename. Easy. I can rename a branch like this. I mean, Git is very, very flexible, very, very powerful. Probably I don't even know 5% of it. And in YIPL, we're not even using like 2 or 3% of it, and that's what I want to increase on. At least we should come to 7-10%.
Just
cherry
add one
picking.
more thing to the cherry pick. I think like when we do a cherry pick, so you're getting the commit from another branch or somewhere,
Yeah,
but that is not the same commit. So if you look at the commit ID, it's going to be different, but
Really?
everything is going to be same.
Really?
If you do
I don't think so.
it's
I don't really think so. Let me do. Git log -1. Can do it.
that's 430 now. That's 560.
Okay, let's see. That's 430 blah 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 and
That's
oh yeah, you're right. It makes a new
So
comment.
what it does, it just copies those changes and creates a new commit and puts it on top of your
Nice,
current branch.
nice.
So
I didn't know.
those are different commits.
Nice. But the thing is, Git
But
tracks.
this- Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
But the thing is that the state of those commits is going to be the same. But
The-
just the
The
name
code
is-
changes is going to be the same because you are cherry picking and on Git everything needs a new a unique ID. I think that's the reason that it has a new ID to it. That's one thing. And Git always tracks changes. It doesn't track files. It doesn't track folders. If you have an empty folder, Git doesn't even recognize it until you put a .git keep or something file in. So think of Git as it tracks changes. If you have file A and B, what changed between these states? So Git is more about tracking changes and not tracking files. I think SVN is more about
But I
tracking.
think what you said is actually opposite of what SVN does.
Yes,
So
it's-
like what Git does is like, so if you have two commits, so the first commit is actually pointing directly to the files, and the second commit is also pointing directly to the changed files. So if you want to find the difference between those two, so Git uses an algorithm to actually find the diff between those two commits. But in SVN, what it does is the commit is only, it has the changes, only the changes. So that's why like when we do a merge and all the merge and this on SVN, it's quite difficult because it has to like rebuild all the changes and put it on top of other files. But in Git, what it does is like each commit points to a particular file or folder.
state.
Yeah, state of a file. So it's not just keeping track of the changes, but the actual change file itself. So that's why it's the merging and reverting is quite fast
Easy.
in Git compared to
Yes,
SVN
yes,
because it's directly pointing to the change file. So.
And you can even do stuff like this. So let's say if you want to do a pull request to Masha and check what changes are you doing. So you can say, and these can also be like commit hashes, like I did. So now I'm doing a comparison between two branches. So this is basically saying, give me a difference between master and GI40. And this says, okay, between master and GI40, these are the things that are changed. And I can do the same thing with two commits if I have the two commit hashes, so I can just do that. Yeah, I can even do this. And this can also be done from GitLab. I mean, before you open a merge request. That's what I'm saying, always read the code twice that you are committing and pushing. One, git diff before you push stuff, because probably you'll find a typo or a comma or something extra there. Two, when you open a merge request, just read your code by your own. Then probably if you find something, you can just do a commit amend and change that already even before being reviewed. Let me see if I remember any command that I can, that I think, nothing fancy. That's it. Yeah, if you have any comments, questions,
Yes, I have one.
go ahead. Yeah.
When we squash our commits,
Mhm.
maybe 5 or 10, when we have to look at the repo, it is either better if we can see actual commits stored in that file. We have to see the feature commit.
Look, that's what I'm saying. That's what it is. Like, how do you want to tell the story of your code? For me, I would say having, and like for multiple reasons, it's easier to have one commit per ticket or card. That's why if you run into that kind of a condition or that kind of a case, what you do is you talk with your immediate senior and then tell this card is going to be big.